January 9, 1945, Lingayen Gulf, Luzon Island. 6th Army Divisions under Lieutenant General Walter Krueger storm ashore in the largest amphibious assault of the Pacific War. Japanese 14th Area Army, commanded by General Tomoyuki Yamashita, the Tiger of Malaya, braces in fortified positions across the Central Plain. The object shifts beyond bullets. Psychological warfare leaflets rain from C-47 transports. Radio signals pierce the ether from mobile transmitters. Mechanism unfolds through printed mockery and broadcast taunts, exploiting Bushido's honor code to demand Yamashita's ritual suicide. Stakes tower immense. Shatter 287,000 defenders resolve. Spike surrenders from near zero to thousands. Accelerate Manila's fall and spare Allied casualties in the grueling reconquest of the Philippines. Deep in the Sierra Madre foothills east of the landing beaches, Captain Hiroshi Tanaka of the 23rd Infantry Division clutched his Type 38 Arisaka rifle, its 6.5mm barrel slick with morning dew. The air hummed with distant artillery, American 105mm howitzers pounding Japanese forward lines at Sison and Pozorubio. Tanaka's company, 120 men strong, had marched through the night from Clark Field, their boots caked in volcanic ash from Mount Pinatubo's shadow. Orders from Yamashita's headquarters in Baguio emphasized fanatical resistance. Hold the line, bleed the invaders, buy time for reinforcements that might never come. But as dawn broke, something fluttered from the sky like cherry blossoms out of season. A white leaflet caught on a bamboo stalk. Tanaka snatched it, his eyes narrowing at the Japanese script printed in bold kanji. The paper, thin and waterproofed, bore the insignia of the American Psychological Warfare Branch. General Yamashita, the Tiger of Malaya, has failed his emperor, it read. He squanders the lives of brave soldiers in hopeless battles, yet clings to his own existence. Under the code of Bushido, a true samurai would perform Hara Kiri to atone for such disgrace. Why does Yamashita spare himself while sending you to die? Illustrations flanked the text. A caricature of Yamashita cowering behind a map table, contrasted with stoic samurai of old committing seppuku. Tanaka crumpled it, but not before his sergeant, a grizzled veteran from Nanking, glimpsed the words. Whispers spread through the platoon as more leaflets drifted down, carried by offshore winds from the Gulf. Across the lines, in a makeshift tent near the beachhead at Dagupan, Major Bonner Fellers of the PWB oversaw the operation. Fellers, a Japan expert with pre-war experience in Tokyo, paced before a stack of freshly printed leaflets, code J47, 50,000 copies dropped by the 13th Air Force's B-25 Mitchells that morning. His team, a mix of Nisei translators from the Military Intelligence Service and Filipino scouts, calibrated the message based on intercepted Japanese radio traffic. Hit their honor, Fellers instructed, his voice cutting through the clatter of typewriters. Yamashita's reputation is ironclad after Singapore. Crack it, and the ranks below waver. The leaflets were part of a broader barrage. That evening, mobile loudspeaker units mounted on M3 half-tracks would blare similar taunts in Japanese, amplified to 500 watts, reaching foxholes up to 2 kilometers away. By midday, Tanaka's unit reached their defensive position, a network of spider holes and machine gun nests overlooking the Ogno River Valley. The Americans advanced methodically, Sherman M4 tanks of the 37th Infantry Division rumbling forward at 15 miles per hour, their 75mm guns firing high-explosive rounds that shredded coconut groves. Japanese Type 97 Chiha tanks, lighter at 15 tons with thinner 25mm armor, lay in ambush, but their 57mm guns lacked the muzzle velocity, 820 meters per second, to penetrate the Sherman's 51mm frontal plate at range. One Chiha erupted in flames after a direct hit, its crew bailing out amid acrid smoke. Tanaka ordered his men to hold fire until the enemy closed to 200 meters, conserving their limited 6.5mm ammunition clips. As the sun climbed, a low-flying P-38 Lightning streaked overhead, its twin Allison engines roaring at 1,600 horsepower each. From its belly, another shower of leaflets cascaded. This batch, J-52, escalated the personal attack. Soldiers of the 14th Army, your general hides in Baguio's mountains, feasting on rations while you starve. He demands banzai charges, but where is his own blade? Hara Kiri is the path of honor for a defeated commander. Demanded of Yamashita, or surrender and live to rebuild Japan, one landed at the feet of Private Kenji Sato, a 19-year-old conscript from Kyoto. Sato, malnourished after months on half rations of rice and dried fish, pocketed it secretly. Rumors had circulated for weeks. American POW camps offered hot meals, medical care, even cigarettes, contrasting the Imperial Army's doctrine of death before dishonor. Night fell and the Psy War intensified. From a ridge 3 kilometers west, an American loudspeaker crackled to life, its horn speakers echoing across the valley. "Attention, warriors of Yamashita." The voice boomed in fluent Japanese, scripted by Nisei Sergeant Roy Matsumoto. "Your tiger has lost his claws. Manila burns because of his folly. Bushido calls for atonement. Pause, let Yamashita lead by example with the short sword. Or come forward with hands raised. We guarantee safe passage under the Geneva Convention." The broadcast looped every 15 minutes, interspersed with recordings of Japanese folk songs to draw listeners. Tanaka's men shifted uneasily. 2 privates from the engineering detachment whispered about desertion, their morale frayed by constant retreats since Leyte. In the PWB command post, now relocated to a captured Japanese bunker near San Fabian, Fellers reviewed initial reports. Interrogations of the first 200 POWs, mostly stragglers from the 10th Division, revealed 40% cited the leaflets as a factor in their surrender. "It's working," Fellers noted to his adjunct, Captain Fabian Bowers, a Japan scholar fluent in kabuki theater references woven into the scripts. The Hara Kiri angle exploits their cultural rigidity. Yamashita's silence damns him more than any battle loss. Radio Manila, under Allied control since the landing, amplified the campaign with nightly broadcasts on 1,000-kilowatt transmitters, reaching as far as Formosa. "Yamashita, prodigal with lives but sparing his own," the announcer intoned, quoting Bushido texts to underscore the hypocrisy. By January 15th, as American forces pushed toward Tarlac, Tanaka's company suffered its first defection. Sergeant Yutaka Nakamura, a 28-year-old from Osaka with a wife and infant son back home, vanished during a night patrol. He reappeared in American lines, leaflet in hand, babbling about the broadcast's truth. "The general won't die for us, why should we?" he told interrogators. Word spread via grapevine, eroding cohesion in the 23rd Division. Yamashita, ensconced in his Baguio headquarters, a fortified villa at 1,500 meters elevation, received reports of the propaganda. His staff burned stacks of leaflets, but the damage seeped in. Morale reports noted increased suicides not from honor, but despair, over 50 in the 2nd Tank Division alone that week. Their Type 95 Hago light tanks abandoned with full fuel tanks. American advances accelerated, the 1st Cavalry Division racing 100 miles to Manila by February 3rd. Loudspeaker teams now attached to forward units like the 11th Airborne targeted isolated pockets. At Cabaruan Hills, a Japanese battalion from the 2nd Mobile Infantry held out in caves rigged with 75mm artillery. A half-track-mounted speaker parked 800 meters away blared, "Yamashita has forsaken you. His failure demands Hara Kiri. Your survival honors your families. Exit with white flags, over 48 hours, 120 surrendered," citing the relentless audio assault that prevented sleep and amplified doubts. The mechanism's effectiveness lay in its precision. Decibel levels at 120 decibels caused physical discomfort, while content attacked the psychological pillar of unquestioned loyalty. Tanaka, promoted ad hoc to command a ragged platoon after losses at Cabanatuan, encountered a radio set scavenged from a downed Ki-43 Oscar fighter. Tuning to shortwave, he caught an American broadcast from San Francisco relayed via Saipan. "Japanese soldiers, your leaders lie. Yamashita's defenses crumble because he fears his own end. Bushido is clear, defeat requires the blade. Surrender now. Prisoners receive rice, medicine, letters home, the signal, boosted by 50,000 watt transmitters, overpowered Japanese jamming attempts." Tanaka smashed the radio, But the seed took root. His men, down to 45 from dysentery and shrapnel wounds, debated in hushed tones. Private Sato, clutching his hidden leaflet, deserted 2 nights later, crossing lines under moonlight. Feller's team evolved the tactics. By mid-February, leaflets J68 incorporated photos of surrendered Japanese officers dining with Americans, captioned "Live to serve the Emperor in peace," dropped by PB-4Y liberators over Yamashita's mountain redoubts. They reached even elite units like the 19th Division. Impact metrics from POW interrogations showed a spike. 1,200 captures in the Clark Field sector alone, 60% attributing Psywar. Yamashita countered with edicts forbidding leaflet possession, punishable by summary execution, but enforcement waned as supplies dwindled. Ammunition for Type 99 light machine guns dropped to 200 rounds per squad. As Manila fell in flames, Tanaka's remnants retreated to the Zambales Mountains. A loudspeaker pursuit followed, the half-tracks navigating rutted trails at 10 miles per hour. "Yamashita's time has come," the voice echoed through the canyons. "He demands your death." Demand his Hara Kiri, the psychological pressure compounded physical exhaustion. Japanese soldiers, subsisting on 800 calories daily, suffered beriberi and malaria at rates exceeding 30%. One dawn, Tanaka awoke to find 5 men gone, white cloths tied to their rifles as surrender flags. He contemplated his wakizashi short sword, the broadcast's taunt ringing in his ears. Yamashita, isolated in Baguio by March, faced internal dissent. His aides reported morale at rock bottom. Desertion rates hit 5% in the Shobu group, the largest formation at 152,000 men. The general, stoic at 59 years old, ignored the calls for suicide, focusing on guerrilla warfare. But the propaganda's ripple reached Tokyo. Imperial General Headquarters noted Luzon's Psywar as a model for Allied innovation, prompting countermeasures like anti-surrender indoctrination films. In the PWB's forward base at Fort Stotzenberg, Fellers tabulated results. Over 7,000 POWs by April, though only 25% of the garrison, marked a 3-fold increase from prior campaigns. "It's not mass capitulation," he wrote in a memo to MacArthur, "but cracks in the monolith. Each leaflet saves lives on both sides, the operation's cost efficiency shown. 1,000 leaflets printed for pennies, dropped at 500 feet altitude by aircraft with 2,000-mile range, yielding verifiable defections." Tanaka's odyssey ended in April near Mount Nadab. Ambushed by Filipino guerrillas coordinated with American Rangers, his platoon fragmented. Cornered in a ravine, he heard the loudspeaker one last time. "Surrender, and honor your ancestors by living," dropping his rifle. Tanaka stepped forward, the crumpled leaflet from that first day still in his tunic. Captured, he joined the stream of POWs at Camp O'Donnell, where interrogators noted his breakdown upon hearing Yamashita's eventual fate. Not Hara Kiri, but a war crimes trial in Manila. The campaign's climax came with Yamashita's surrender on September 2, 1945, in Kiangan. Though he never bowed to the propaganda's demand, its erosion of subordinate morale hastened the collapse. Allied casualties totaled 8,310 killed. Japanese losses exceeded 205,000. Psywar claimed credit for 4,200 direct surrenders, a modest but pivotal dent in the Bushido armor. In the aftermath, Tanaka, repatriated in 1946, reflected on the leaflet's power. They hadn't forced Yamashita's blade, but they pierced the veil of invincibility, turning warriors into survivors. The Pacific War's psychological front, waged with ink and airwaves, proved as decisive as steel in breaking an empire's spirit.